Are you in the top 1% of wealthy people in the world? It's an interesting article from Investopedia. I'll leave the link in the description below. Are you in the top 1% of the world? So a few short years ago, the Occupy movement helped put a spotlight on income inequality around the globe. While the protesters have long retired from Wall Street and other power centres, the issue hasn't exactly gone away. Indeed, the gap between the haves and the have-nots has grown wider than ever. According to the Credit Suisse Global Wealth Report in 2018, the top 1% of adults account for more than 47% of household wealth globally. So isn't disgusting, this 1% hoarding 47% of the wealth? Karl Marx would be spinning in his grave. This raises an interesting question. Who exactly are the 1% worldwide? The surprising answer, if you're American or pretty much Western, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's quite likely you're a 1%er. Who exactly are the 1% worldwide? Surprising answer, if you're an American, you don't even have to be close to being uber rich to make the list. So according to the Global Research List, a website that brings awareness to worldwide income disparities, an income of $32,400 a year will allow you to make the cut. $32,400 amounts to roughly 28,360 euros, 2.4 million Indian rupees, or 224,000 yuan. So what's that in pounds? They didn't put the grand pound sterling there. Well, I've done the conversion on Google. So 32,400 USD is just over 25,000 pounds. So that's actually slightly under the average wage in the UK. So if you earn an average wage, average job, like a nurse has been qualified for a few years, a police officer has been in the job for a few years, a teacher, they're all top 1%ers globally. So when the left, when the eat the rich type people talk about, the uber elite, the 1%, actually globally, your average person in the UK, America, Canada, Australia, wherever, if you're in a Western country and you earn like a moderate average wage, you're in the top 1% worldwide. That's why things like eat the rich are stupid, because they kind of like focus on the 1% in the West, but don't kind of realize they're actually 1%ers globally. So they're very fortunate. If you're watching us YouTube now, you live in a Western country, you're very fortunate to be born into this capitalist environment with so much wealth. You're a top 1%er. Even if you're watching this and you earn below that, you're definitely like top 2, top 3% globally. So count yourself very fortunate. And the real question is, what the left and the Marxists are always trying to point onto is like the income disparity between the rich and the poor. A better way to look at it is not why people are poor, but why countries are rich. We need a little less Karl Marx, we need a little more Adam Smith. If people went back and read The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, he wrote that's about 250 years ago. He had a good grasp on capitalism and what caused certain countries to be rich, what caused certain countries to be poor. If we kind of follow that philosophy now, not many politicians, not many global elite are following those tried and tested Adam Smith methods now. But if we had a little bit more Adam Smith and a little bit less Karl Marx, maybe we'd have a bit more global equality in terms of income around the world. But count yourself very fortunate if you watch this. Even if you've got a very average job in the UK, you're a top 1%er. Can you believe that? Line 100 people up from around the world and you would be in first place in terms of income, in terms of wealth. So count yourself blessed for that. Blessed for the capitalist system we live under, and be fortunate you don't live in a country that was formerly communist and still on its knees economically, or a country still going through socialism like we're seeing in South America, like we're seeing in African nations at the moment. They're onto a losing streak. So count yourself blessed. You live in a Western country. If you're watching this from a Western country, Jason from Liberty Militia signing off. I'll see you in the next video.